Paul Farbrace, you spoke before the competition about it's been very much a learning experience for your players. What have you learned about them in these 4 games, particularly today?
Well, we've learned about them in all 4 games, really. The first game we were completely outplayed at Notts, and then the last 3 games, I think we could quite easily have come out with a win in all 3 games. Now, I want to win every game that we play, and I don't like losing. I've said that many, many times, but what we have seen today is a real fight and commitment from a team that are playing against a very strong Glamorgan side. We've played against strong teams in this tournament all the way through. As I say, the Notts game we were completely outplayed. The last 3 games, Warwickshire, we took that down to 9 down. The game against Yorkshire, I thought we played some really good cricket, and although 50 runs was the gap in the end, it didn't feel like a 50-run defeat. But it was, I don't want to sugarcoat it. And then obviously the game today, again, you take them down to 9 down with only a couple of overs, left. So, but the good thing from today is that, as I say, that the learning that the team are going through. We had a really good, probably an hour conversation yesterday about the defeat at York, and we spent a fair bit of time at the hotel yesterday talking about the game and reviewing the game and looking forward to this game. And we've talked to them about being smarter, being braver when they bowl, particularly the spinners, and I thought the 2 spinners today, Archie and Bertie, was superb. But I thought they were also they showed a lot of fight with the bat. Their 50-run partnership gave us a chance to bowl at a target. I think most of our fielding over the last 3 games has been really good. Yes, we've knocked the odd catch down, but I thought today our fielding was very good. There's so much good out of it. It's also very frustrating in that we as I said, we could be 3 from 4. We're not, and I'm not. The game's always about ifs and buts, but I think over the last 3 games in particular, we've learned a lot. We've improved a lot, and the players are keen to learn and improve and get better. And we said at the start of the competition we weren't going to have an overseas. We've rested this week John Simpson, Jack Carson and Finn Hudson-Prentice, and we wanted to give all of the players an opportunity to play, and all we've kept saying to them is who's going to be the players who stick their hand up and say, I'm a first team cricketer and I should be considered for selection more, and who's going to show that they haven't got what it takes to play at this level. And I think that's the one thing that Grant, James and I have been pleased with, is that we're actually seeing the ones who are sticking their hands up. Again, Bertie now, that he's bowled exceptionally well today. He's shown fight with the bat. Archie, I thought did really, really well today with both bat and ball. And then you look at Henry Rogers. I mean, he's shown a glimpse today of what he's capable of. Charlie Tier played really well in the last game and has kept wicket really well in both games. I think his improvement over 12 months has been phenomenal. Clarkey bowling nicely. Dan Ibrahim in the last 2 or 3 games has bowled exceptionally well. It's frustrating that he's not scoring runs because he's better than he's showing with the bat, much better than he's showing with the bat. But it is about scoring runs and taking wickets. But his bowling in the last 3 games has been excellent. And he was the one that turned the game off in our favour today, and he's shown that he's got a high level of skill with the ball. We just want to see it with the bat as well. So look, there's 1 or 2 that will be disappointed by their performance today, and there'll be 1 or 2 that are disappointed with either performance over the last couple of days. But that's the whole point for us, is that we're learning about them. We've learned a lot more today about our players. And as I say, we're not just telling them, well done, it's a close game and it's okay to get 20s and 30s, because it's not. And we're being very honest with them individually about their own performance, and we're being very honest with the team as to how they're going. But I think we've seen improvements over the last 3 games. But for me, it's about individual improvements, and who, when we come out of this period, are going to be the ones who got their hands in the air saying, I could play in the championship team. We know Danny Lamb's not going to be available for the last 5 championship games and the quarter-final. Who's going to replace him? Who's sticking their hand up? At the moment, Dan Ibrahim with the ball is showing that he could do the job as that 4-seamer and bat at 8. But he's got to score runs as well. And there'll be others that will be saying, well, I could do that job. Well, show us. Tom Clark didn't play in the last championship game. So, there is a spot for someone to come in. Ollie Carter has played pretty well over the last few games, but didn't get any runs today. So, look, there's a lot of good, but equally that they've got to realise that the game is about winning, and yes, we're a youngish team with not a great deal of experience, but I think 3 of the last 4 games we got ourselves in position to win, and we haven't been good enough to get over the line and win the game.
What about Tom Clark and his captaincy? Because I was impressed, Paul, with the way that he knew when to attack and he knew when to defend as well, because you're defending small targets, small totals here.
Yeah, I think he's captained the team really well over the last 2 games. I think he's spoken well when he's spoken to the team. He's an intelligent lad. He thinks about the game, and he's a game player. And that's what I like about him as a captain. He's very much in the game. He thinks about the game. He's always talking about the game. And I think he's done a really good job as captain these last 2 games. And it's no surprise he's done the job that he's done, really. Again, he's one that is showing glimpses with the bat. We want him to be more consistent. Great that he's bowling. We genuinely think he could be a top quality all-round cricketer. His fielding's excellent. He's a great catcher. We know he's capable of scoring runs, and we can see now he's fit enough to bowl after his ankle ops last year, that he's actually in a good position to bowl and bowl good overs for us.
How do you pick the side up? Because you could just tell the players at the end, they desperately wanted to win that game. They've lost 2 games now by 1 wicket against 2 strong sides, Warwickshire and Glamorgan. How do you pick them up for Sunday, Paul?
They do it themselves. It's not our job to pick them up. They pick themselves up because they know there's still 4 more games to go in this competition, 4 more good teams to play against. They've got a home game on Sunday. There'll be a good crowd at Hove on Sunday. We've got Simpson, Carson, Hudson Prentice and Tom Alsop available. Alsop's coming back from the 100 to have a game. So those 4 are all available, which is great. And there'll be 1 or 2 that will be disappointed that have played today that won't play on Sunday. But we've said to them all along that we're going to rotate the team round. Had we played Crocombe or Carvelas here, we're going to rest them 2 today. They played Wednesday. They're going to hopefully play on Sunday. So, that there will be changes, but it's up to the players to keep picking themselves up. The exciting thing for them should be opportunity to play first team cricket. And there's a lot of them in this team who haven't played much first team cricket. They haven't had the opportunity to play because the other guys have been playing really well in the Championship and the T20. So, if they need us to get them up for Sunday, then, they might need to have a serious think about themselves, to be honest.
Final question, the schedule, Paul. You've spent an awful lot of time on the coach in the last week. There is so much talk about the schedule. How difficult is that? And, is there something wrong with the schedule? But as I say, there's been a huge amount of travelling. What do you make of that? Yeah,
look, there has been a huge amount of travelling, too much. But, I've fortunately, I've been involved in county cricket for 38 years, and we're still having the same conversations now that we had 38 years ago. Too much cricket, too much travelling, hectic schedule, not enough time to practice, tough on the players, all that sort of stuff has been trotted out, and nothing's changed in 38 years. So, if I'm lucky enough to survive another couple of years of county cricket, I don't see it changing then either. It is what it is. I mean, the one way you could look at it and say, we started in Hove, we've been to York, we're now in Neath, and then we're going back to Hove tonight to play on Sunday. It's a lot. But, we sit on a nice coach, we get well looked after, and also the other aspect is that the young players, they're learning quickly about life as a professional cricketer. It's not easy. There is a lot of travel. There's a lot of chopping and changing in competitions, but the best ones find a way to do it. We use the word adapt, and Grant and James use the word adapt to the players a lot, adapting to conditions, adapting when you're batting, adapting when you're bowling. As a young player that's used to probably playing once every 2 weeks in the second team, this is a bit of an eye-opener for them. Young lads, Henry Rogers, Bertie, Archie, they're learning, Dan, they're all learning that it's not just about playing cricket, it's also about, looking after yourself, maintaining your fitness, going to the gym, eating properly, all those sorts of things that you've got to do as a professional cricketer to not only get to the top, but stay at the top, which is the discipline and the sacrifices that the best players make. Now, they're learning over this, 3.5 week period that it's not easy. It's tough, and you not only have we lose up at York the other day. They're disappointed. You get on the bus, you go to Birmingham, stay there for the night, come on to Swansea, go again, and then we'll probably get back in the early hours of Saturday morning, and we've got to be at Hove on Sunday to go again. Now, it's a fantastic life. We all love playing cricket. We all love being involved in the world of cricket, but it's not easy. So, I haven't really given you an answer to what the schedule should be. All I'm saying is it's tough. But what you the other way of looking at it is saying it's tough, but it's a great learning experience for these young players, and it is a fantastic learning. But as I say, look, 38 years. I've had some fantastic suggestions of how we're going to change, first class cricket. it gets a lot of stick, but it's producing a lot of fantastic players for England, and that's the thing that people forget sometimes. They're not England players, they're county cricketers who have actually done really well for their clubs. And it's fantastic that England are picking people out that is based on potential rather than necessarily on performance. I don't mind that at all. And Shoaib Bashir and the keeper, Jamie Smith, I mean, you know, their two lads have been picked on their potential as opposed to their performances, and I don't mind that at all. I think that's a great way of doing it. But as I say, you know, English cricket's in a good place. Let's not mess around too much with the schedule, but there are times when, you know, you're sitting on the motorway again in a traffic queue, and you're grumbling about the schedule, but look, it is what it is, and, you know, get on with it. We knew what it was going to be at the start of the year. Get on with it and make the most of it.